Welcome back to the Summer Dreamathon 2022. After that great run of Casper Scare School by Garlips, we have Mystic Belle, True Ending Normal, excuse me, by Norimaki. Welcome.
Hey Adrian, thanks for that intro. And yes, it's me again, Norimaki SR, bringing you the Shantae palette swap where the hair is red and the clothes are purple instead of vice versa. Just kidding. This is a cute little game, Mystic Belle. Kind of like a Metroidvania style platformer as well, but it also has some puzzle elements akin to like, I don't know, Monkey Island or Blazing Dragons, any of those particular kind of games. So you've got to solve puzzles in order to progress the story and kind of like save the day, and all with a limited inventory. But we'll get into that a little bit more as I go through here. But at any rate, yeah, as we're going to allude to, we're doing true ending percent, so we're actually going to see the good ending, or basically what is considered the proper ending for this game. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. This is a very tight estimate, and if something does go wrong, I might not make it. So we'll see how this goes. Any rate, I'm going to go ahead and on difficulty selection, we will start the timer here. So if we are ready on timer, I will give us a countdown. Are we good?
Yep, whenever you're ready.
All right. Run in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. So we're practicing fire one night in October, and somebody does a very big bad, and we, even though we were the one who was actually practicing, we are the ones accused of this big bad. So now we're basically being told we have to fix it. So this is a really interesting, cute game, and this game has gone through quite the life cycle. Remember when this game first came out, I'd heard about it, was curious, but didn't really know what to think of it, and a friend of mine went ahead and like bought it temporarily, and I mean very temporarily, on Steam, and immediately refunded it because the game was, I'll say, less than optimal. It didn't move well, was very, very slow, like about half the speed that you're seeing now. And the game was just clunky in general. Apparently the dev has listened a lot to the feedback and had actually made a lot of improvements over the years. So when I got to see this game again, it's kind of what you see it is now, and I kind of fell in love with it. And as soon as I did, I was like, yeah, we're definitely going to speed run this. So since then, it's basically been me and a South American runner who basically have been battling back and forth with world record. Right now, I've got world record in all 4 categories. Some of them will be easier to beat than others. This one would probably be one of the harder ones. I believe that run that I did with this one is pretty solid. But as you're going around, you got beautiful sprite work, beautiful music. It's a fun little game, and right now we're just gonna be quickly going through and kind of collecting items. So I've already kind of like started this process by, beating up on a plant that was unsuspecting but would have aced me if I'd have just walked into it. Game was kind of brutal that way. And Belle has a couple of different attacks. She's got, projectiles because she's practicing fire, and then she's got her broom, which kind of one-shots things whenever she uses it. But you have to be really up close and personal. But right now we've been tasked with getting 3 items. We have to remake a potion that has been ruined in order to stop a very bad situation from occurring, as a brief lore dump. So we're gonna have to like go around, collect some items to be able to kind of resolve things here and do that. So if this isn't the most quintessential library music in the world, I don't know what is. I mean, obviously, because we are in witch school too, you're gonna have your usual witch tropes, monsters and things like that. Chandeliers that just like to fall on your head, big deal. Wow, that is a super early level up. I am surprised. So I'm actually trying to level up at specific points, just to kind of keep the HP flowing and not be as scared or dangerous of certain things. That happened super quick. I'm a little worried there. Talking that chest right there kind of starts the system that didn't exist before. So this game started out with no real way of managing the inventory. You kind of had what you had, and you had to leave items behind and pick them up as you will. And you actually do still do with that, like in hard mode. That is actually something you have to contend with, is the fact that you don't have a way of leaving items somewhere other than on the ground. So if you're doing that, you got to remember where you ditched things and then be able to pick them up. But for now, I'm actually glad I didn't land in the spikes there. I was going to do a speed strat, but I decided last second, probably not a good idea in a marathon. It does make things a little riskier, especially with the damage that I'm about to have to tank here. Okay, that's plenty of health. We're in a good spot here. That's what I was worried about, was how much will I have after skipping that night? All right, this is a fun little sprite animation. I love this. What I love about this character and this game in general is, one, the sprite work is so amazing. Like, these characters are so expressive. They're not just like your standard palettes. They actually have like some personality baked into their animations. Two, the story's cute. Like, it's not like, you know, an award-winning game, but this little witch here, she's sprightly. To put it lightly. She's a character. She is quite the character. I thought you were gonna do something silly like that. Speaking of leaving things on the ground, I'm just gonna pollute here a little bit with that metal scrap. It's faster than using the chest system in this regard, and it's gonna put that in a good spot. So you're gonna see me leave, you know, that there. It'll probably be about the only time you'll see me actually fully ditch something on the ground, and we will pick it up pretty soon. Again, but we got some other running around to do because we got a very full inventory at this moment. We need to kind of take care of that. So we're gonna meet our friend here in the library because, you know, obviously she's a nerd and reads books. We gotta give her that. She's gonna teach us how to like make a Leyden jar, and we're gonna use that to our advantage. So we're gonna do some vandalism, do that really quick. Grab this jar. This room, by the way, is kind of brutal. I'll use this opportunity to talk about how, like, some of the things that this game doesn't quite do very well. One of them is being very mean in the fact that as you're entering a room, there's no rule against a monster spawning on your head as soon as you enter that room. So if you're like a sliver of health, you are likely to get killed just by entering a room. It's a thing that happens, and yes, you can lose a run that way. It's definitely happened to me before. Bad platforming is bad. Let's go. I've got plenty of health right now. This is like uber health. I'm not scared of anything right now going into this boss fight. In fact, I think I'm going to take it super aggressive. So we've got what we need now. We've made the Leyden jar, and the reason we needed it, obviously, is this guy needs some power. He needs some juice. We're going to give him some juice. Now, the reason that I'm picking up that metal scrap again is I'm going to present it to him. The text is shorter than just talking to him, which you normally could just talk to him and whatever, but it's quicker if you give him that. Try to give him that metal scrap. He's just like, I don't want that, and then just closes the box. Okay, and I was way too aggressive too soon here. All right, now I'm gonna play conservative a little bit. There's a lot of RNG in regards to some of these things, like the debris from the ground, like we can't really do much about. All right, so we've just taken care of his science project. No big deal. It's still fine. It's alive. And we've taken his saw because, you know, why not? We need a saw. It's basically just borrow everyone's stuff kind of situation to be able to do this. We're going to do some really quick platforming here. If I do this properly, I'll take a single hit. Oh, well, there's a little bit of landing lag sometimes, so it happens. Same thing with menu lag. I'm going to do a shorter jump here just so I can quickly bounce through that. But in beating that, yeah, we now get a charge attack, which is going to be very important because getting past this guy, really hard. He takes forever to kill unless you do that, so that's always fun. All right, so this was probably one of my worst discoveries of the game. I got a little upset with the inventory at the end of the game, and I was trying to figure out how the best way to deal with it is. And that apple I just left behind is kind of a necessary item to keep yourself from getting in trouble. So now all of my room movement is on a timer. It's good RNG, by the way. Okay. I almost let him get away. Sorry. That's a science ninja. Don't worry about it. Only thing you need to know is now I have like the best movement of the game right now. So I'm leaving this hall pass behind. So that means now that every room that I'm in, I'm now on a timer. And if I don't do things quickly, I'm going to get one shot. And getting one shot is not going to be a good thing, ever. So we're going to try to avoid that being a hassle. Don't worry. You will see exactly where the problem lies in a couple of rooms, because we're going to have to force our way in and out of a room to get some progression, but we'll be in it long enough to make that happen. And well, yeah, we'll just hope that things don't go wrong here. But I've also got this cool little dash attack now, or dash now, which does have iframes, which is nice. But only limited iframes. I really wanted that. Thank you, game. And there is a bit of menu lag in this game, so sometimes you'll see me linger in there, and it's because it's deciding not to take my input, unfortunately. Just gonna dump off some things here so that we clear some space in the inventory, and we're gonna zip our way on back. I didn't think I grabbed that at first. Oh, anybody have a problem with mice? Well, sorry. We'll take care of that problem really quick here. This is kind of like the Nutcracker, the Mouse Prince is what I think of with this particular guy. Especially with the soldier mice that come out with him. It's a really cute boss reference, I'm guessing, is what they're going for here. Ooh, wow, getting an extra cycle. That's not good. Plenty of health right now. Although this guy will... That was actually a pretty good fight. And then beating him, we get the ability to turn into a little mouse ourselves. So now we're going to need that to be able to obviously do some things. So kind of like, you know, you inherit, it's kind of like Mega Man in that regard. You're going to inherit yourself some abilities, be able to do things a little bit better. And we're just going to zip over here. This girl's sad because she has no hair. We can fix that with a mop head. There she goes. She's happy now. Don't worry about her. She's something. Nice movement. So chaining these in midair is oof. Oh boy, did we almost lose a ton of time. Oh boy. Sometimes you'll drop. Chaining is really not that hard, but sometimes the game will like to, again, drop an input. And if it does decide to do that, well, nothing you can really do about it. Trust me when I say you don't want to linger underwater until you're ready to. It'll kill you very, very quick. And Mystik Belle doesn't, or Miss Belle here doesn't have very big lung capacity. Screw and hook. This comes out. Let's go. This is my least favorite room of the game because of these guys. These ghost knights or whatever the heck they are probably the worst enemies, at least for this particular run, and the fact that they do a lot of damage because as you're standing in things, you'll notice I don't get iframes, and we're dealing damage to each other until one of us dies. Generally, that's me. And these guys like to spawn like right in the way, so I'm getting out of there with at least a halfway decent amount of health. I could be in worse spots, but I'm a little sketched and worried about it. And the fact that the boss coming up, if I don't play it correctly, could drive me some issues. Okay, so speaking of the reason for the hall pass, this is the guy that you want to avoid. The Grim Reaper is the hall monitor, and he takes his job extremely seriously. Dropping off some oil here, picking up some gear parts. We're actually going to be mean to this poor teacher. I don't know why, but he seems like a cool guy. I like him personally, but he's also... Let's not lose too much health. Sorry, I'm just focused on trying not to lose all of my health here. Because, again, this fight could go one very, very bad way. And if it goes the bad way, we're going to lose some time. And that's what I'm worried about. So, you don't just jump on and touch things here. You actually have to hit a button to pick things up. Right. This is like the worst thing in the world. You can do the melting of those parts that I put in here earlier within 8 jumps. It never works for me. I generally have to go with like 10, and just for safety, I'm gonna go even more, just to make sure that I get it. But it should be done as low as 8, and I feel like that's gonna come down to like the the world record versus not having it is that particular bit. Let's hope not, but all right, so with what little health I've got, we're gonna hope that I can get through this boss. If I die, it's not a big deal. We're gonna lose some time as I'm gonna have to do something that I don't want to do, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get through the run. So all right, big guy, what you got for me? I'm not taking a lot of damage here. That's good. This should be okay. It's just when he speeds up, I can't really control him. Okay, we're fine. Whew. That's a scary fight, and I made it scary with my routing choices with the game, and it became quite the roadblock to PBs. But now that we've killed him, we now have access to a double jump, because everyone needs a double jump in a Metroidvania. And I'm really not happy about everything getting in my way right now. Again, I'm not trying to take all this damage, but sometimes the game just is going to be the game. All right, so there's our first piece of lore. So this is what we need for the true ending. We have to pick up all these pieces of lore in order to find out what's really going on. Like why was this ritual in October necessary? Kind of like backstory as to what the school was about and things like that. So we're going to be picking those up, and that's what triggers the good ending, is being able to grab all those. All right, so this is the most recent fast strat that we came up with. Mr. Slashy came up here, diving in the water here with that bucket, fills up the water. We used to have to go elsewhere to pick up the water, and he came up with this strat. But the problem is that we're on an extremely tight timer with this. That bucket has holes, and because that bucket has holes, we're dripping water as we go, so we can't afford any big like errors in movement like I'm making right now. Hopefully I still have enough time. Usually you're allotted a little bit of leeway, but not a lot. Okay, all right, we made it. Phew. That is tighter than it looks. All right, so I've got a decent amount of health here. I was worried about getting here and not having enough health to get through this. This particular part likes to be rude and maybe not drop me any like health at the time, or it gets even ruder and starts dropping enemies on my head, which costs me even more health when I can't really spare it. So fortunately, the game is playing nice right now. And now I'm just facing off against my Phoenix Wright nemesis, the trees. Always the trees. All right, I guess his bark was bigger than his bite. His bark was worse than his bite. Let's go. That was easy. Moving on. All right, so now we got to clear up some inventory space, and as much as I would love to just be able to leave these items on the ground and be able to move forward, I can't. The certain event triggers don't happen if you don't turn these in now, so we're just gonna go ahead and do that now and freeze up all the space that we're gonna need. We'll never need, well, I'm gonna hit the chest one more time. Oops, nice bonk. All right, so this will be the second time that I'm gonna be worried about Mr. Hall Monitor, because he will nix me here if I don't do my movement correctly, because he is blocking the way. Okay, whew, that's tight. If I didn't get that dash, he was gonna nix me, and that was it. And he was already like raring to go. So that's the last scary part of this run, in my opinion. I think everything else is now smooth sailing. So we're gonna gonna keep plugging here as we've turned in 2 of the big items that we need to rectify the situation. Potion is being brewed by our homeroom teacher at her own pace. Those doors are the devil. This is why. These doors are the worst. You get on a good pace and then suddenly you do that move and it's like, nope, back you go. Welcome to the dorm rooms. Good dodge of the steam there. That was really nice. All right. So we're doing good. We're doing really good. We got everything going on. We just need a couple more items out of this particular area and we'll continue. The worst thing that you can do here is forget to grab the rope, especially before you drop, because it's a long way back. All right, so we've gotten everything we need here. We're going to go all the way back out to the forest and we're going to pick up this item here. Hopefully we're not going to see Mr. Kami Bear. That's a trickier jump than you want. And yes, that is his name. That bear is literally Kami Bear. And the other thing I gotta watch out for here are trash pandas. I do not want to get caught by one of these little jerks. Those raccoons will steal something at random from your inventory and they will run off with it and you've got to go pick it up. It's the worst time loss ever. At any rate, now that we've beaten that tree, we are now able to go underwater safely. But we've got some things to do here as well. And this is some really good and very appropriate underwater music, in my opinion. I think it's like some of the best underwater music I've dealt with. And what makes this good is we're not slowed down in our movement. Like, we keep our normal movement speed here. And actually, Belle is way more overpowered in water than out of water, in my opinion. This lightning shield is just busted. And it's fun. And I get a ton of health for like everything I kill because everything's got like 5 enemies in it. And when it does that, I get pretty much multiple health drops every time I do this. So not really too concerned about health. I mean, it can be a problem, just depends. Excuse me, my friend. As far as I know mentally, I'm pretty sure I've picked up every piece of lore that I need for true endings, so pretty sure we're not missing anything here, which is good. Keeping our health high because I'm going to be tanking a lot of damage here very shortly. Don't mind the laser sharks. Seems like a lot of things have lasers. Beavers, sharks, this universe is very interesting in how their animal life works. Okay, we got a decent amount of health drops from that. That's like the scary part, because if he decides he doesn't want to drop a lot of health, it's going to put us in a very bad position. And I'm not exactly a fan of my health right now, but as long as I do my movement fine, we should be okay. We're going to drop off some orbs here, continue deeper into the mines, as it were. Okay, just making sure I don't take certain damage from certain things here. This should be more than enough health to get us through what we're about to need to go through. Platforms are so mean sometimes. All right, so now we're going to start a string of intentional deaths. So basically what you have to do is make sure that you don't do the restart room. These guys try to give you your hall pass fast. I don't want it. Like I said, I'm trying to keep my inventory nice and clean. And we don't have room for Ringo. No Ringo. Ringo arimasen. Darn, missed it. All right. So we pick up that orb, but we take a death warp. It's actually quicker than trying to navigate back. One, because the amount of damage that you take getting through there is painful. There's a good chance you're not going to make it back to this room. So taking this death warp back to the main council chamber, one, refills your health, and the warp isn't too far away. And we just needed it to be able to drop this off and come and check this location. It's kind of a hang up point in the game. Like, you get really confused about what you might need to do here. And it doesn't really get too clear on that front. But once we do that, you kind of get a hint of, oh, okay, I know who I can talk to that can help me with this. So this guy is kind of lamenting the fact that, I don't know what he's lamenting, honestly. I mean, he doesn't seem too broken up about the fact that he turned into a werewolf and attacked us. So, but he does owe us a favor, and that's what we're going to be doing. Is now we're going to be picking up some key components for a much needed item. Ooh, nice. So another intentional death. Make sure that you do return to the council chambers. To do restart room, you have to basically do whatever it is you did in that room again before you try to move on. It won't save your progress like it will when you do the council chamber thing. So these are just intentional death warping for speed purposes. I know we lose all of our XP, but who cares? We're level 6, which is more than enough for this run. Sometimes in a run you'll hit level 7, which doesn't really change much other than you get a little bit more HP. So it's like, yeah, 7 is grand and all, but not necessary. Darn, I hit a ledge there. It's fine. So we basically got everything we need. I just need to get my butt back to a warp zone here, and that's where we're going. We can go pop back down to the professor. And this is where I didn't like having the apple in the inventory, because at one point you had the menu around it and I was like, that's slow, I'm done. I didn't like the menu lag to begin with, so I was just like, I'm just getting rid of the hall pass. And he gives us high explosives. Thanks for the high explosives, Chief. He gave it to a little girl, I guess. Elevators are slow. Oh, 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 oh. Get behind this quickly or you die. Instant give, doesn't matter how much HP you've got. High explosives actually doing what high explosives would do. And spider warning, anyone who has a problem with spiders might want to look away. This boss used to scare the living crud out of me, not because it's a giant spider, but I used to die here a lot. I kind of figured out the best way to deal with this thing finally, but it took a bit. It took a lot of trial and error to really figure out the best way to deal with a giant spider. And I mean, I'm a pro at this from Shantae speedrunning, right? Like, there are many giant spiders in things like Pirate's Curse, and I was like, I wasn't gonna let some big giant spider in this game ace me too. Oh, darn. Oh, so close. That was how close we were away from just getting the 2 cycle. So we got an early 3 cycle. That's not terrible. I'll take that. Right now, I want to eat up as much damage as I possibly can without being too much, because I need to set up for yet another death warp here shortly. But now we got to do some lore cleanup. We need to pick up all of our missing pieces of lore. Wow, we didn't get many cat slime spawns. That's unfortunate. This room is a little slower for killing me. Just taking a spike bath. Don't mind me here. Oh no, and I just did restart room like an idiot. I need to die again. Sorry. This is where the menuing's important. Fortunately, it was just that room, so we're fine. All right, so for the, third, 4th time, we're going back to this room again. You end up in this area a lot, but it's mainly just because you couldn't do everything you needed without certain skills. All right, everyone, get ready to say hi one last time to the Reaper. Hi, Reaper. Bye, Reaper. Oh wait, no, we get to see him one time here too. Hi, Reaper. Bye, Reaper. All right, that's it. You'll never see him again. All right, just got to get my butt to... That was rude. That's right. We got to give everything over to our homeroom teacher. Almost forgot about where I needed to go. Again, rooms with teleport locations. I can't remember the route sometimes. All All right, so yay, we've made the potion. Now we gotta hurry and get it to the chambers so that the bad things don't happen. But we still have one more piece of lore to pick up, so we need to do that as well. Ah, too slow. Try to get that spacing right, and it's just like, nope, not quite. All right, so we get the truth about everything when we pick it up. You don't have to pick them up in this order. You can pick them up in any order, which is nice, so it doesn't really matter. You're gonna get the story in order regardless of what you do. All right, so we get here, get the potion. You see that there's this giant monster that's petrified in the background. This is to kind of sate the monster, keep it from, getting mad. But apparently, we're a little too late. Having to run around and fix the potion late was a big problem. So even though we've kind of covered our bases, we've still got issues. And if this guy doesn't exude enough get off my lawn energy, let me help you. Get off my lawn! I say get off my lawn! So we built this castle on top of him, and he's not very happy about that. The science ninja is now going to try to make amends and say, you know what? We have science now. Your archaic magic is not the way to beat this guy. This guy's like, get off my lawn. All right, so everyone wish for no right hooks as we're going to play Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Time will be coming up on the final hit of this guy, by the way. So be ready. 3 more hits. And time. He is toast, and we're going to get the best line of any game almost anywhere for a victory. Science, bitch! Let's go. The power of science prevails. The power of science prevails. Let's go. All right, so we've saved the day. Ouch. Crap. I think I've had about enough excitement for one night. Let's see you all just a little bit. And just pass out. I'll just skip through all that dialogue. You can read that later. But yeah, she's a little tuckered out. I mean, she's a little girl. What are you gonna do? But that's basically Mystik Belle in a nutshell. It's a cute little game. It's fun. It's like a one-day kind of thing. Play it for a few hours. You'll probably get through it relatively quickly. But the game's got a lot of charm. Got a lot of charm, and I fell in love with it instantly. And I hope that more people experience this one, especially now that it's a lot better in its post initial launch development. It's got a lot of really good quality of life adjustments that makes this a lot more enjoyable experience. So yeah, this is a very fun run. It's a little tricky, a little painful in some areas. If you're interested in speed run, you can ask me anything. I'd be more than happy to help you. But yeah, there's some really tight and scary moments with this run to get it at least at a really good pace. So cool.
All right, well, thank you so much for that delightful run.
Thanks for having me, guys, and I will see you in chat.
Up next on the Summer Dreamathon is actually a race between Song and Eden of the game Arietta of Spirits, Easy Any %. And on that note, I'll be done with my hosting duties just for the night. I'll be in chat as well. So yeah, I will see you probably on the host mic again, probably tomorrow. I'm gonna pass the baton off to somebody else. So yep, stay tuned and take care, everyone.